what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Diamond Within podcast. I have a really awesome guest here today, my good friend Lee. I met him back, wow, how long has it been, Lee? It was like at the summit. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But I heard his story and felt his energy, and I felt like we connected pretty quick, and it was like we shared similar stories and journeys of how we each discovered how to find this joy that feels so fleeting and impossible to find sometimes in the darkest days of life. And I'm going to tell a little bit about him. He likes to call himself, I'm your average 6'3" Korean guy with a Yugoslavian last name. I don't even know if I remember how to pronounce your last name.
I'm a Korean and that's Yugoslavian last name, so you probably can pronounce it better than I can, so we're all good.
I love it. So he grew up in Montana with the Hawaiian wannabe attitude, and whenever I've seen him, he's always wearing like the floral shirts. It's awesome. But here's kind of the part that you wouldn't expect. He says that he was abandoned at age 10 and adopted at 12 by a family who says he found me in a Sears catalog. So and if you want to. But now he's proof that happiness isn't something that you find, it's something that you create, even after life's hardest moments. And he even created a formula he calls the Happiness Energizer formula that he uses to coach people, organizations, to just help them find their perspective, elevate their energy, and to reconnect to that purpose that they've lost, or maybe they didn't even find. So, Lee, welcome to the show. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thanks for having me here, Courtney. Thank you.
Of course. So I want to hear a little bit more about this backstory, if you will. You were abandoned at 10 and adopted at 12. And were you currently in Korea at that time?
Yes. I wrote a book just like you did, right? I wrote a book called All Things for Your Own Good. And the subtitle of that book is Illegitimate Orphan Korean Boy's Keys to Happiness. And I was actually born an illegitimate child in Korea.
Okay.
Back when I was growing up, what that simply meant is I probably would not have had any of an opportunity of any sort, because they literally check the legitimacy of your family history to see whether you can go to a nice college or even work for a nice company. So had I stayed in Korea, I probably wouldn't have been able to go to a nice college nor get a good job, right? Because of my illegitimacy.
Okay.
So being an illegitimate child, my parents already were not living together. My dad had his own family, and, he met my mom, and I can't really blame him because my mom's a great looking mom, so great looking lady. So I'm just simply thankful that they didn't abort me, which they could have. So that's why I'm still here. So I'm very thankful for that. But because of that illegitimacy, which I didn't know that was the case for the longest time, I can't say never. I hardly ever saw my dad. My mom always told me that he's on a business trip, which probably was true.
Okay.
But I didn't really know what was going on until I was 9 years old. I saw this lady that came to my house, and my mom told me that she was her friend. And she gave me a little money to go out and buy some treats. And I'm going, 9-year-old, right? I'm good.
Yeah.
That's the money. I should buy some treats. So that's what I did. Well, it comes to find out that lady was my dad's wife.
Whoa. My gosh.
And what had happened from that was my mom had to go out on her own because the support got cut off from my dad.
Oh my gosh.
And her being by herself without any support, she started dating other guys.
Yeah.
Well, my dad found out about that. And can I be totally open and real with you?
Of course.
I welcome it. Because, I just want to make sure you're going to be okay. And I just want to make sure whoever's listening to this will be okay as well. Because I'm going to share everything openly. So I hope you're all good with that.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay. Yeah.
And as you hear...
I'm a registered nurse here. I've seen it.
Beautiful. So, when you hear this story, you may think, how is this guy the Happiness Energizer? There's no way. It all...
Now you've hyped it up. Now we have to hear it. It's a horror story coming up.
Yes. So my mom and I really had a great time. At least I thought, right? Growing up. And I had such a beautiful life. And I have
Yeah.
so many great memories until that one night. My mom and I were in the room doing our little thing like we normally do at nights.
Okay.
And literally out of the blue, the door flung wide open.
Okay.
And the image that I saw over there was the only way that I could describe that image was a very scary, drunken, angry dragon.
Dragon.
I mean, that image is something that I can't really erase.
Yeah, something that morbid, you wouldn't be able to unsee that. It's like frozen there.
That's exactly the way it was. I mean, it seemed like everything just kind of froze, right? In that moment.
Yeah.
And then this dragon saw me, and then his gaze turned toward my mom. As soon as he saw my mom, he literally ran straight over and started beating on her senselessly in front of me.
Gosh. Wow.
I was a 9-year-old kid. I was
Wow.
scared to death seeing all that.
Can't even imagine what that's like. Like, how do you even react? Like, you're frozen. It's like, do you get for help? Do you just freeze? You know, like, what do I do? You know?
That was where I was until I saw my mom get beat up, and I could not stand it. So I remember trying to get in front of my mom and this dragon. And I remember saying, "Stop!" And this dragon was kind of stuck for a second. And in that moment, my mom literally crawled over to the next room. I mean, these were small rooms that we had in the house. But all he did was simply just push me aside because I was just a little kid. And he followed her into the second room. And when I went back in, I saw him beating on her even in there. And once again, I stood in front of him and said, "Stop!" And once again, he pushed me over. And mom was able to get into the third room. And I ran after them one more time. And in this third room, it was my study room, which I hardly ever studied there. But there was a little desk and a chair, and there was folded blankets right there. When I walked in, I saw my mom pressed up against those folded blankets. And then this scary dragon was beating on her. And as I was trying to get near them to stop it, he pulled out a small knife and put it up against her throat. And this is what I heard him say: "If you ever do this again, bitch, I will kill you."
Gosh. That's pretty traumatizing for anybody, let alone a 9-year-old kid.
Yeah.
That's very traumatizing.
I didn't realize how much of a trauma that it caused in my life until actually even most recently. And thankfully I was able to let go of all of that, recognizing, having that awareness, right?
Yeah.
But back in that moment, as soon as I heard those words, I don't know what was going through my mind, but I blacked out. I literally blacked out in that moment because I don't remember anything that happened after that until I woke up. I don't know how long I was standing there. But when I woke up from that blackout, I was standing facing that same direction. And there was no one there. My mom and this angry dragon, they weren't in there. I was the only one in the room. And I remember trying to get an understanding of what really happened, what's going on. And I remember what had happened right before then. So I opened the door and looked outside. I didn't find my mom anywhere. And I saw this dragon in the middle of the yard. He had started a fire. And I remember him throwing our small TV that we had, which TV was a big deal back then because hardly anyone had a TV. Growing up in Korea, in a farm town,
Yeah.
That was a big deal. But I also remember him throwing our clothes, mom's clothes, and also I had a little Cub Scout uniform that I was so proud of.
Oh.
And I remember that being thrown in there as well in the fire. And I slowly walked up to this scary, drunken, angry dragon whom I call my dad. I was crying and asked him, "Dad, please stop. Where's Mom? Please stop." Thankfully, I guess, because he was so drunk that Mom was able to get away. And I didn't know what had happened, honestly, but all I knew at that moment was to be away from my dad. But what he said was, go out and find your mom and bring her back. And in the middle of the night, crying, I remember going out there in the dark, and I remember trying to yell out, Mom. My mouth was forming the word mom. Well, in Korean, it's amma.
Mom.
Yeah, that's how you say it in Korean. But I know I was forming that word with my mouth, but words weren't coming out because I was crying and I was so scared. All I could do is say, and for me, that felt like, I don't even know how long I was out there, but it felt like forever. And I could not find my mom. So I went back to my dad and said, Dad, I can't find my mom. Can you please stop? And at that moment, all he told me was, if you don't go out and find your mom and bring her back, you will not have a house to live in tomorrow. So yeah, it was not the funnest experience, very traumatic. I tried to go find my mom. I couldn't find her. And I just remember running over to my grandma's house and she was there. I didn't see my mom there. As soon as I saw her, I ran over to her, started crying, and then fell asleep in her arms. And after that, truthfully, I don't know what had happened. So that was scene one of Lee's story.
Scene one. We get the backstory. We get all the gory details, all the trauma.
Yeah.
Quite a story.
Yeah. Truthfully, there are a lot of people that had a lot worse than me, right?
A lot of people, for sure.
For sure. And a lot of people who had it a lot better than me. But
everybody's got their own heart and their own things that are meant for them.
Yeah, and I love the fact that you said it was meant for them, right? Because that's what makes you so amazing.
Yeah.
And I ask people this question: is life happening to you or for you?
Exactly.
Right?
Something that I think a lot of people struggle with. They just think there's nothing good about anything that's happening to them. And they can't find purpose and meaning in their suffering. And I feel really sad for people who have that struggle making that shift or seeing that it really is meant for you and specifically like catered and designed for your exact DNA, personality, your spirit, whatever you want to call it. It's meant for them and their journey on this earth. You know, however they want to look at it, from not even from a religious standpoint, you know, because it's kind of like just transcends all our religion and just kind of goes down to like just more of a spiritual, holistic level.
Yes. And that is beautiful, right? And you've been through that journey and you've overcome that because you recognize that life is not happening to you as the victim, right? But life is happening for you as a creator. And that's a distinction that I would like to make for people, whoever's watching, that recognize that you are the creator. Truthfully, you've been creating all your life, right?
Right.
Now you're consciously aware as someone who's aware of your own mindset, and you feel it in your heart. You can go create the life of your dreams if you claim the title as the creator, not as the victim.
Exactly. We forget the brilliant minds that we've been given, and you think of all the creatures on the earth, whether it was Big Bang or God that created them, just from a scientific standpoint, no other creature on earth has a mind as powerful and as creative as the human mind. I mean, yeah, we don't have cool camouflage abilities or super speed, although that'd be cool. I mean, that would be me, super speed. But we do have powerful minds, and the things that we've been able to invent and create, and with music or art or architecture, anything, it's pretty amazing just from throughout all the ages. And we forget that we were born to create.
Yes, 1,000%.
And I was like, you just can't see, like, I don't know, what am I supposed to create? I got nothing. I'm not smart, you know, that kind of stuff. And it just kind of, they can just see, you know, what's at their fingertips, you know, it's there. Yep. They just have to learn how to harness it and access it.
Exactly, right? And that's all starts with awareness. And that's what we're doing here, right? To help people become more aware of their own greatness, they're aware of their own power. Because we are powerful, as you had mentioned, Courtney. We are powerful beyond measure, right? But people don't recognize how powerful they are.
No, they don't.
Yes.
It's sad.
So yeah.
Having said that, with where you got to the point where you were at your grandma's house, what led you to? Do you mind if we talk a little bit about how you got to be
Yes.
adopted in Montana, and then
For
how
sure.
perspective started to shift?
Scene 2 then, okay? There we go.
Yeah.
What had happened, truthfully, like I said, I don't remember everything that happened because of the trauma, more than likely. And my mom couldn't raise me on her own. So what she actually did was send me over to live with my dad and his family. So she sent me over, and I lived with my dad and his wife, who, by the way, did her best to, be as good to me as possible.
Okay.
But I'm sure for her, it wasn't the easiest to see her husband's other son, right, from another woman living there with her.
Yeah.
So, and she worked for the government, and she actually had connections with specific government agencies. And she found me an orphanage that lets older kids from being adopted. Because most of the time when you see kids get adopted, they're babies, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Well, this orphanage happened to have a special, I guess, specialty that allowed older kids from being adopted. So at age 12, after living there, not at age 12, but age 10, after living there for a year, my dad sent me over to the orphanage at age 10.
Okay.
And truthfully, I don't recall a whole lot that happened during the single year that I was at my dad's house, but I just remember feeling so relieved to leave to go to an orphanage, which seemed kind of...
Whoa. That seems very contradictory.
Right?
Yes.
Because I didn't want to live in fear anymore. Right?
No one wants to live in fear.
Right. And I share the definition of fear quite often, and fear stands for false evidence appearing real, right? F-E-A-R, false evidence appearing real. And yeah, there are real fears for sure. What I went through was a real fear. If you're standing in front of a huge cliff with no rail, nothing, no guard, you're looking down, that's fear, right?
That's legitimate, yeah.
Yes. But majority of the fears that we have, that we experience, are caused from us, from here, without it being a reality. Most of us create fear when there's no valid reason to have that fear.
Would you repeat that definition one more time, just so that our viewers can
Yes.
get it? Read it one more time.
False
False
evidence
evidence
appearing
appearing
real.
real. Don't forget that. False evidence appearing real.
Yeah.
I want you to write that down. Whoever's watching, go write it down right now.
Yeah, because it is false things that we create in our minds. Because our minds are, as much as we love our parents, as much as we love our family members and our friends, right? Most of the people, even before we were born, actually, we were designed to think negatively. Would you agree?
Yeah. I think we were born to survive.
Yes. The
Not to
survival brain.
thrive.
Yes. The survival brain, exactly, right? And because of that, that was inherited.
Yes, that was
From our
inherited from
parents?
what you saw in your environment growing up.
Yep, exactly. And our past generations too, right? That gets passed down. So we have this survival brain that makes us feel like, hey, we are constantly in danger. And we try to sometimes create those dangers, even though there isn't any. That's what I mean by false evidence. There really isn't any, but because of that inherited thought process or mindset, whatever you want to call it,
Yes.
it exists. So a lot of times when we create those fears that are not even real, we are creating it ourselves. That is why it's false evidence. But it looks so real to us because we're the ones that's experiencing it. Whether that's
You're the one that's feeling all the feels and the emotion and having the voices and the anxiety just running through your veins and in your mind. And it's just, I've experienced that many, many times with some of my health issues. And I can tell you that from a biochemical standpoint, when something's off in the body, something's off in the brain too.
Yes.
So for those who don't remember watching, I had a thyroidectomy over 3 years ago. And I can tell you I didn't know how much that would impact my mental health as I thought, because without that medication, it's a replacement therapy. It's those thoughts go racing and racing, and I feel so depressed and sad just more often than I would have thought. And then without that meditation, it's like, so I don't want to like go on a brief tangent, but like I know what it feels like to just feel like those thoughts are just flying and anxious and you just can't control them, and it feels so real at the time. And just to try to wade through that or just ignore those thoughts or just let them pass, it can be really difficult to when it's all around you.
Yeah, especially when you're living in that moment, right? When you're in that moment, really experiencing whether that's real or not, but it is real in that moment because you're experiencing it and you're feeling it, right?
Exactly, yeah.
So yeah, that's the reason why it is important for us to recognize that that is a false evidence that you're creating yourself.
Yes.
So once you become aware of that, then you have the ability to remove that. Because you created it, you can also remove it, right?
Yeah, and I think it's more than just saying, it's not real, because if you, in my perspective, that's a type of negative statement for using the word not. Like, if you say it's not real, it's like you're trying to shut it out when it won't let, I'm trying to explain this the best way, like, it doesn't neutralize it. It's almost like you're standing by the door and it's just banging on the door and you're trying to keep it out when you in reality you need to like neutralize it and just not acknowledge it type of thing.
Exactly.
So, like, you can't say it's not real because I think that just makes you more anxious. Any thoughts on like what you would do with that?
Yes, there's a saying that says, what you focus on tends to expand. I think Tony Robbins puts it, where your focus goes, energy flows, right? That's the way he puts it.
Yeah, I've heard that actually many times from different sources, and it's like, I should find out who actually said that, but I can't remember.
Yeah, so, and me, I've been saying this for the longest time, what you focus on tends to expand. So when you're saying it's not real, what you're focusing on is it being real. But you're still focused on that, even though you're trying to deny that it's not real. That's what you're focused on. Because that energy expands, right? So that's what I mean by that. So just you explained this perfectly. When you keep on focusing on that, all that's going to do is keep on expanding and expanding and expanding. When it comes to money, right? A lot of people say, I want to get out of that, I want to get out of that, I want to get out of that, I want to get out of that. But what are they focused on? The debt.
Yes, because they're saying, I have to get out of debt. I have to get out of debt.
Right.
And it's like a constantly chasing. You're never going to get it.
Yeah, that's what you're focused on. You're focused on the debt. So you get more debt. It's the simplest explanation, right?
Simple, but we make it so complicated.
Yes, we do. And that's the reason why the experience that I went through, even though I would not want, and I'll share more of how I got to where I am, but a lot of people in my shoes, I could have literally blamed my dad for the longest time. And I did for a while, in all honesty.
Well, I mean, I think that's just a natural response because you're trying to make sense of something. And when you're youth, I mean, you don't know and you can't think of anything else. Like, it's got to be his fault. I mean, you're trying to make sense of it. So, I mean, that's fair to just say in that time it was okay when you had no other explanation for it so that you could have some kind of closure. Does that make sense?
Yes, some kind of closure.
In the moment, I mean, that's fair to say that. I mean, it's hard for 12-year-olds, 13, whatever, just to make sense of that. So, yeah, definitely give yourself grace on that front,
For sure, right? But I didn't realize it as a little kid. I was a 10-year-old kid when I got placed in the orphanage, right? Yeah. And being there for about a year and a half, I mean, I was physically abused, emotionally abused, verbally abused, even sexually abused. As a 10-year-old turning to 11-year-old and 12-year-old. It was not the funnest time, but that was actually better than living with my dad, right? So how I came to America was because of this. Remember me talking about the Sears catalog, right?
Yeah.
Do you remember the Sears catalog way back when?
Let's hear it. We gotta hear it. It's like, what kind of Sears catalog is that?
In the good old Sears catalog, before we had the internet, right? They literally sent out catalogs and they had pictures of the item. And when my parents saw the picture of that item, which is me, they loved the look of the product, right? And then they read the description of the product and they're going, wow, great looking product, great description of the product. They picked me out of that catalog. And the reason why I call it the catalog is, I mean, people know Sears catalog if they're not, too young.
Yeah.
So that's why I call it the catalog. But the orphanage that I was at, they literally created a catalog. There was a sheet with pictures and with little description about each one of those kids that were needing to be adopted.
Well, I mean, they got to get the word out somehow, I suppose, and that's the only way to do it.
Exactly.
I mean, that makes sense. You would try to get kids' families. I mean, that's interesting. Okay, cool.
So that's why I call it the Sears catalog, for that reason.
I love it.
At age 12, my parents found me in the Sears catalog and brought me over, and that's how I ended up in Montana. That whole 6'3" Korean guy with a Yugoslavian last name, because my parents had a Yugoslavian last name. So I ended up with that Yugoslavian last name and lived in Montana, grew up in Montana. With a Hawaiian wannabe attitude is because Hawaiian people are chill. They're laid back, easygoing.
No.
They love food, So,
Yeah, the food. Yeah, very down to earth people, very kind. I love it.
yeah, unless you piss them off. You don't want to piss them off.
Oh yeah, don't. Don't want that.
So yes, so that's how I created that identity for myself. On average, I do that on purpose, because nothing about me is average, right? Because
That's average. It's just like average doesn't exist.
but here's the thing: there's a thing called pattern interrupt, right? A lot of the people don't use the pattern interrupt, because if you don't interrupt somebody's patterns, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna keep on doing the same thing, and they're gonna just go on that hamster wheel and stay there and just going circling and circling, right?
Yeah.
And one of the things that I generally ask people is not how are you. Do you remember what I asked you when I first met you? I didn't ask you how are you. I asked you this.
Wow.
It's been a little bit, I know.
It's been a bit.
Let me just help.
Cannot. Forgive me. You'll have to remind me. I can't remember. It's been a long time.
So what I asked you was not how are you, but I asked you, Courtney, how awesome, pause, are you? With a smile.
Oh, that's right. How awesome
Are you, right?
Not just how are you, because then it's like, I see why you do that, because you're instantly reframing it for that person to reframe how they look at themselves.
Exactly.
If someone just says, how are you? It's like, nah, I don't know. Right? It's like, it's open to whatever interpretation, but if you reframe it, then they're automatically going to say, well, maybe I am awesome. At least it'll make them think differently about themselves.
Exactly.
So, I love that. Yeah.
That's the pattern interrupt. But pattern interrupt is needed for anyone to, open other people's hearing. And the reason why I do that is because this is my belief, literally. I believe that every person on this earth is awesome in their own way.
Yeah.
In their own way, right? But most of them don't recognize that.
No, they don't, because we live in a society that just of competition and comparison, and where self-worth is just tied to things of the earth or money or fame, that kind of thing. And it's like, it can be very depressing for just anyone trying to make it in today. So
yeah, definitely can be, right?
Yes, we see it everywhere with teens, kids, adults. I mean, it's just everywhere, and it's really hard to escape.
Yes, and that's part of the reason why I do a lot of pattern interruption for that reason. And when I meet anyone for the first time, that's the question that I ask. How awesome, pause, are you? With a smile, because I want them to recognize that for themselves. And most of the people, like you were saying, because they're so used to that hamster wheel, doing the same thing. When I ask you the definition of the word habit, what do you think of when you hear the word habit?
I think like the word like subconscious comes to mind. Like you just don't even recognize that you're doing it. I mean, so many times like when you're driving and you just you just don't even remember where you're driving, and you decide you need to go someplace, but then you go on autopilot and go to drive home. Then you're like, wait a minute, I was supposed to go here, and
Exactly.
That's what I would call as a habit. It's just like the auto stuff that you just do every day. You don't even think of.
Yes, and you're right. And most of the people, just like you, when they hear the word habit, they think about what you do on a consistent basis, right? Without thinking about it subconsciously. Right. The habits also consist of not only what you do, but your thoughts, your beliefs, your words and feelings, as well as the actions. what we consistently think about, that became a habit. And that's the reason why we, or even when we talk about, when we ask you, how are you? Natural response for most people is good, how are you? Without even thinking about it, right? Because that's
I hate that. That's like one of my biggest pet peeves. It's like, why? Are you really good? It's just to avoid any kind of interaction or just to get back on our day and get back on the hamster wheel.
Exactly, right? And most people, like you said earlier, right? We want to stay safe. We all want to stay safe, right? That's what we inherited. But the safety that you are living in is very uncomfortable a lot of times.
Yeah.
Right? When you live in constant fear, that is not comfortable. But to you, it feels safe because that's what you're used to. That became a habit. That thought pattern, that belief pattern, the way you speak about yourself, that's what you're used to. Because that you feel more safe there than getting out of that, right?
Yeah.
So that's why I recognize that a lot of people struggle to get out of those patterns, not just in what you do, but in their thoughts, beliefs, words, and feelings as well, as well as actions. So if anyone wants to really shift out of their thought patterns, belief patterns, word patterns, feeling patterns, as well as action patterns, first of all, they need to be aware. They got to be aware of that.
Yeah.
That they feel like they're safe in, which they need to analyze and see whether that really is a safe place or not.
Yeah, that having gone through like some types of therapy, I mean, it's good to make sure that you acknowledge what you're going through and to maybe put a meaning to it just so that you can identify it and then work on reframing it. Because if you can't identify it, then you can't move past that roadblock until you can actually see it for what it is.
Yes, that's why awareness is such an important aspect. And truthfully, I wasn't really aware of all of this until my mid-30s. Even then, I wasn't fully aware, obviously, because I'm still learning, even now, right? Learning and growing is a consistent thing.
Yep.
But I was so unaware of so many things that I was doing, subconsciously, like you were mentioning, right?
Yeah.
It's happened without even me thinking about it. And I thought that was the normal pattern of what everyone did. And because of that, I was just living just a normal life. Actually, it wasn't even a normal life because in my early 20s, I went through a divorce and didn't want to live for 5+ years.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, talk about the depression, the thoughts that you have, right?
Yeah.
Not even wanting to live. Because I was telling myself back then, what's the point of living a life that sucks so much? That's what I was telling myself. And I was proving myself right every time. Right, because that's what I was focused on, how sucky my life was. So that expanded in my life. And it kept on getting worse and worse and worse and worse.
Yeah, people don't really realize, another way to put this is what you focus on as the energy expands is kind of like maybe the karma effect and also like whatever energy you put out, you attract.
Mm-hmm.
And I see it in my kids. I see it in other people I know. It's like, and I get it. You're not going to be happy, energized, or positive 100% of the time because that can be really exhausting. But you can continuously work on it and at least try to reframe the mindset. If you put out that good feels, that positive energy, then that's almost like you sending a sign to like your creator or the universe. It's like, I'm grateful in my circumstance and I'm ready for the next opportunity, the blessings, because I've taken what I have right now and I've shown that I'm grateful for it and nothing's going to stop me no matter what. And I think it's just really hard for most people to, especially in their darkest days, to realize that they have the power to make that shift. Like you said, like creators, you have the power to make that switch. But like you said, you can't do it until you're aware of it. And I think that's where most people are stuck.
Yes.
Like they just don't know how to get past that roadblock.
Mm-hmm. I agree with you. And that's the reason why, with the work that I do, I help, first and foremost, help them become aware. Right? Help them be aware of what they're blind to.
Yeah.
So that if they become aware and choose to, they can actually make this shift, right? Reframe things, like you had mentioned, to make the changes that they desire in life. And truthfully, you know how people love to use the word want, right?
Oh, yes.
I'm not a fan of that word.
Yeah, it sounds really selfish.
It sounds selfish, but also when you say, I want something, doesn't that tell you already that you don't have it?
Yeah, it comes from a place of, what's the right word? Neglect or lack. That's the right
Lack,
word.
exactly,
Lack. It
right?
comes from a place of lack.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that immediately just puts it into a negative mindset.
Yes. So I went from want to using the word desire, right? I
Yeah.
desired versus I want. And then I kind of thought about it and go, desiring is still something that I don't have. So what if I simply claim it?
Claim it as your own.
Exactly. Whatever you quote unquote want, why not claim it in advance? In your thoughts, in your heart, that you already claimed that person, that beautiful, powerful, amazing person that you already are. Claim that version of yourself.
So
right?
if you were going to say, do this as like maybe a mantra or like a, if you were going to start your day in this I claim like mindset, would you say I claim to be this person, or I claim to be happy, healthy, whole, whatever? Would you say it like that?
So it's a little bit different when it comes to, a lot of people use mantras or affirmations, right?
Right.
One thing that I would caution you with affirmations, especially when you use the word I am. I am is a very powerful phrase.
Mm-hmm.
And whatever word that follows after I am, it can really create a beautiful thing for your life or destroy you.
Yeah, so you gotta be careful what you say.
Exactly. But how many people say, man, I'm so stupid. I'm an idiot. Right? How many people say that without even thinking about it?
They don't think.
That's the thing. But the words that we use, the thoughts that we have, the beliefs we carry, and the feelings, by the way, feelings, I call it the rocket fuel. Because when you feel it strongly, that accelerates what you claim, have it come to you a lot quicker and faster, right?
Exactly.
So when you use affirmations, let's say, people want to be a millionaire, right? Or multi-millionaire.
Mm-hmm.
When they say, I am a millionaire, but in your mind, you're going, there's no way I could ever be a millionaire.
Yeah.
It doesn't line, right?
It, but they don't believe it.
Exactly. Even though you're saying it, mantra or affirmation, it doesn't benefit you because that's not what you're feeling really.
No. And that's something I love about are you familiar with Joe Dispenza's book?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he talks about creating the feeling of already living in it.
Yes.
With that thought. Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yes, identity. You're identifying as that person already and already feeling that feeling of being that person, right?
Yeah.
Identity is so powerful, and most of the people choose to claim an identity that doesn't serve them.
No.
Right?
So figuring out like what identity is going to serve them seems to be kind of another roadblock that you help people with.
A lot of people, yes, for sure. So that identity shift is what's really needed to transform your life. However, most of the people identify themselves as something other than what they truly claim in their life, should claim in their life, right?
Yeah.
So that's another thing that I'm really conscious of these days. Identity. What are you identifying yourself as? What are you saying after I am? Even with the affirmations, we're going back to that, right? If you're going to use the affirmations, instead of saying I am a millionaire, ask yourself this instead. Why am I a millionaire?
That's interesting. Why do you put the why am I a millionaire instead?
Because when you put a why, your mind is going to try to think of reasons why you are a millionaire. Why am I so healthy? You're going to come up with reasons why you are so healthy, right? That's a lot more powerful than I am saying I am something that you don't even really believe in. Does it make sense or not?
Yeah. That makes sense because because it gets the mind stimulated asking questions to possibly create that persona that you're trying to become.
Mm-hmm.
So it automatically puts the mind, I think, in creation mode.
Exactly. And you're looking for solutions as to the answers as to why that fits the identity that you desire, right? That you hopefully are claiming.
Yeah, that sounds so cool. And then when it comes to like people with their difficult days, I mean, they could get up and say, well, why am I so happy today? And then they're going to start looking for reasons like, oh, well, this makes me happy. This makes me happy. And because honestly, I mean, holistic joy that you talk about that can be created, I believe the same thing. It takes effort. And I believe that God loves effort and if you believe in God or some other higher power, is patient with his creations and doesn't leave us alone in that journey. We can't be assumed to be left alone through anything. But I believe that God does expect us to use what he's given us and to think for ourselves as these powerful minds of creation that we've been given. And like powerful spirits, if you want to go that far too.
Yes.
But
1,000%.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And
so now that you come to this point, it sounds like after those 5 years that you didn't want to live anymore, you somehow found your way to where you are right now and created this Happiness Energizer formula. You want to walk us through what happened after those 5 years?
Yes. The people that you surround yourself with have a huge impact on your life.
100%.
And thankfully, I had a couple of good friends that came into my life that I needed in that moment. And one of those friends kind of kept me alive during those 5 years.
Thank goodness.
Thank goodness, right? And
yes.
The other friend brought a gift. You know this saying that says, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear? Ever heard that?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. He was that gift because he brought the gift of The Secret. Have you ever heard of that book or the movie? The Secret, The Law of Attraction?
Yes.
Yeah. So he gave me this movie, this DVD, and he goes, "Hey Lee, I'm not going to tell you a whole lot about it, but just watch it." And I'm going, in the front cover, it looked like an alien thing, right? The Secret alien, right? I didn't know it was a genie in the front, but it looked like an alien to me. So I'm going, whatever. I put it on top of the DVD player, and I didn't do anything with it for the longest time.
How many of us have done that?
Obviously, I wasn't ready to be,
You weren't ready yet.
Message. But I still remember it very clearly. It was a Monday night. It was after the NBA playoffs, and there was nothing on TV. And I remember going home after work, and I had a little futon. I was kind of laying there or sitting there in that moment, and I saw this DVD kind of staring. It was like literally staring at me. And I'm going, I don't want to watch it, but I got nothing else to watch. Oh, whatever. I put it in the DVD player, laid it on the futon, and started watching it like this, right?
Like, okay, I'm going to doze expecting this is worthless.
Exactly, right? Literally within minutes of putting that video on, I was literally on the edge of my seat going, my goodness. It was so amazing. My life up to that point finally started to make sense, just even that much more, right? Because before I was on autopilot, subconsciously just kind of living through life in a hamster wheel. Nah. But it made sense after watching that DVD. And that's what helped me get on this transformation journey. And I am continually growing because of that video. That teacher that I needed came in exactly at the right time for me.
That's amazing.
Yes. So, and because of that, I created the Happiness Energizer formula. My mentor, Sean Callaghy, he created a formula called Unblinded Formula.
Oh, yes. Yeah, Sean's is amazing.
Absolutely amazing person, right? Well, actually,
yes.
Right there, right?
Yep, right there, I see it. Unblinded.
Yes. And he created the Unblinded formula, and I recognize that there's a system in everything.
Yes.
There's literally a system in everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I realized that, wait a minute, I need to kind of dive into how I became the person that I am. There has to be some kind of a system. And as I diagnosed everything that I've done to get to where I am, the way I live my life, I recognize that there are 3 pillars that every person, if they follow it, that they can be as happy, joy-filled, love-filled, peace-filled, and fulfilled as they want in their life, or as they claim, not want.
They claim to be.
Claim.
Yep. Caught yourself.
So yeah, that's how I came up with that formula, modeling him. Because if he created a system that works for anyone, I can also create a formula that I've applied and that I do continually apply to be the person that I am. To claim not A, Happiness Energizer, but the Happiness Energizer.
Yes.
And the reason why I call myself the Happiness Energizer is because, truthfully, I'm sure there are plenty of people. But up to this point, I have not met a single person happier than me. Not one. Be honest.
Hey, I'm gonna compete for it, okay?
Feel free. And if you compete and win, we both win.
Yay! We're all winners in this game, right?
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, that's why I created the formula. And the first pillar is the mindset mastery, that awareness, right? You have to be aware of all things that you're not even aware of, that you're going around in circles, right? Without even you being aware of it, not even knowing what's going on. So
Yeah.
that is the first pillar, mindset mastery.
Mindset mastery, yeah.
Mhm.
Like overcoming that mindset is just so tricky. I mean, I talked about that in my book too. It's like these negative thoughts that just kind of bombard you from like, I'm not worth it. This is never gonna end. This is so hard. Or, why is this happening to me? I mean, you could have asked I'm sure you asked a bunch of those, or those thoughts came into your mind, all you've been through. And it's like, I mean, acknowledging those thoughts as, is this true? Is this real? I mean, to overcome that is easier said than done. And I'm not claiming to be an expert in any of that. I just know from my personal experience, from your experience of how to overcome those mindsets, roadblocks, and to master that.
Yes, and thankfully, I've been able to use my own experience to recognize what those were and put it into that formula as the first pillar.
Yeah, because everybody's going to have the same similar patterns in that mindset shift, or those mindset mastery, whatever you're talking about, that it's going to be the same for everybody. They just have to identify it and just overcome it, because we're all similar in some way. Like, we all have the same types of negative thinking and habits. And so, like, once you figure that out, I mean, it's got to be easier to pinpoint it in someone else and say, okay, that's it, and this is what you need to work on.
Exactly. You've done a lot of work yourself, so.
Oh, yeah. I think the nursing background kind of helps a little bit too.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's not just because of that either, if I may. It is because you are what my mentor, Sean Callaghan, calls a G-HIC.
Oh, yes.
H-I-C. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Growth-minded, heart-centered, integrous, and committed to mastery, right?
Yes.
So you are a G-HIC for sure. I'm not talking about like my hick friends up in Montana, but it's G-HICness, right? So yes. And the second pillar of my formula is the action mastery. A lot of the people think that, things can happen, or maybe not, without taking any action, but you got to take action.
Yeah.
Right?
It's not without effort.
Exactly. So you got to put in the action. Action just doesn't mean physical action. I'm talking about mental action as well, right? Feeling action, word action, whatever you want to call it. All of those require something for you to make the shift, reframe, whatever you want to call it. It takes action. It takes effort on your part, whether it be mental action, feeling action, physical action, whatever it might be. That is needed. So that's the second pillar. You got to take the action steps before you get to the next level, right?
Yeah.
And then third is sharing, mastery.
Okay. Sharing.
And yes. And that was an interesting one because that's not something that I thought was going to support the formula. But the more I examine my life, there's a saying that says, the more you share, when you share, you get more, right? The more you share, you'll get more, right?
Yeah, it's like the more you give, the more you receive.
Yes, that's the idea. I didn't realize how that could be, because if I have a piece of pie, and if I cut it in half and give it to you, I only have a half. How does that work?
It's like, math is not adding up here.
Exactly, right? But I realize that it's not about this physical, right?
No,
It's
not
about
just
physical, right? It's the joy, the smile of the other person, right? The way they eat that cake, they're just so full of it. The way they express their gratitude to you, right? All of that.
Yeah.
The gift of giving, you get so much more back because you gave so generously, so lovingly.
Yeah, I can echo that principle in my own life. It's harder with my kids, but with my patients that I work with incredibly fragile pediatric patients who most of them live in a specialized care center where there are almost all of them are in wheelchairs. They have tracheostomies, G-tubes. They're all on like scheduled feeds, have scheduled meds, and some of them are in and out of hospitals. I mean, so I've gotten to know quite a few of them and to see their different personalities and quirks, even though most of, if not all of them, are nonverbal. Like they can't communicate with their mouths. Some of them can communicate with like other ways, like with a eye gaze device or just with hand gestures or facial expressions. And I've come to see like the more that I give to them and making them happy or interacting with them, because they're kids, I can play with them, and some of them are really with it mentally, just not physically. And to see the joy that comes on their faces and to make them smile and laugh, it's like it creates so much more fulfillment in me than I would have ever imagined.
Yeah.
Being able to serve this very fragile patient population, it's more rewarding, fulfilling than I could have ever imagined.
That's amazing. And that's the reason why you became an RN, right? Because
well, I mean, I didn't know I was going to end up in this job that I am, but I mean, it was more like, I felt like a calling at first, but then it ended up being something incredibly rewarding and that I need in my life.
Yeah, that is beautiful. And, I talked to a lot of the medical professionals, surgeons, nurses and hospital executives, people like that. But when I speak with the nurses and surgeons and doctors, it being it was Memorial Day weekend this weekend, right? And we thank our veterans a lot and say thank you for your service. And it is deserved for sure because of what they did, right? And what they're doing right now, even those servicemen and women over there. But I also say thank you for your service to nurses and surgeons and doctors because the work that they do is so vital. They're saving lives, right? They're healing people, right? So that's why I say thank you for your service to them as well. I don't know if anyone else that does that, but I do believe that they rightfully deserve that. So
I'm going to start doing that to all my coworkers and all the medical professionals and personnel that I see, just because it's definitely no, I don't think they hear it quite enough.
Right. So to you too, Courtney, thank you so much for your service. The love that you have.
Thank you.
Kind of care that you give to those kids, right? That is so beautiful and powerful. So thank you for your service as well.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Yes. And so, yes, that is a third pillar, sharing. It does require mastery to be able to share fully without
it doesn't require mastery. It just requires just a little bit of action, just a little bit on your part, and then you get so much more in your return. You just got to take that first step. You got to have a little bit of selflessness, and then to give so much more back. It just takes that. It's like one simple act. It doesn't have to be big.
For sure, right? And that's part of the reason why I ask people, how awesome are you? Even if it's just a short interaction, right?
Like, what? I guess I'm awesome, kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's what I help them be able to recognize. I can't make them feel like they're awesome. I can't make anyone happy, really, right?
No.
But I can help them become aware so that should they choose to, they can become more happy, or they can also recognize their own awesomeness, right? So that's the reason why I use those three pillars as my Happiness Energizer formula for anyone to become more happy, more love-filled, joy-filled, peace-filled, and fulfilled in their lives.
And that's so critical because in our society, just to wrap things up here, I mean, it's very me-focused. What is best for me, not what's best for them. And I just feel like the more we get outside ourselves and get out there and help others, we discover ourselves and what we truly need in the process. And it becomes less, like, if you're focused on you, I mean, your energy is contained right here. You can't expand that energy. And I don't know if people know this, but the heart has a magnetic field that's like 5,000-6,000 times bigger than the brain. And if you're focused here, I mean, that energy is not going anywhere. If you focus outwards, that energy is automatically going outwards. And so other people are going to feel it. And then that ignites their energy. And then that comes back on you. I mean, I think it's a measurable thing.
Yes.
That you just can't see it, but you can feel it. And so when people are enduring like their most difficult days and they just are hopeless, they're like, there's no way I can be happy in this. Like, to get out of that feeling of being stuck, like, what do you recommend as like the first thing that they do when they're just feeling hopeless and despair? Like, I can't do this. I can't do this. What do you recommend? Like, what's the very first thing that they can do to create that awareness?
Yes, the first thing is this, right? In all three of my pillars, the one thing that it actually, number one on all three of them is one word: gratitude.
Yes, gratitude is so powerful.
Yes, when you are down and depressed, it may be a challenge for you to start thinking about something that you're grateful for. But if you can get yourself in that moment to kind of stop and say, okay, I feel this emotion. It is not serving me. It is not helping me. But let me kind of shift my focus a little bit and think about all the things that I'm grateful for right now.
Yes. Heard that many, many times, and something I have to continuously do when I'm having an off day. It's like with some of my health issues, I have to go back and remember all the things that I still can do and what I still have versus someone else. Like I reference my pediatric patients again, you can't eat. They're G-tube fed and they don't get to decide when or how much they eat. That's all decided for them by their caregivers. So that's something I constantly remember. Like, I can still eat most regular food. I can still go exercise and get up, and I still have this kind of autonomy. And people it's so easy to get stuck in that lack framework or thinking, and just thinking that your life is so crappy all the time, when it's like, well, what if you start focus on how good it actually is? And then that can start reframing how you look at life.
Exactly.
Because I think people think that they have to, get it all at once. Like, why can't I just be happy all the time? And, it just starts with one simple act. Like on day one, it's like, maybe just like you said, the gratitude. And then maybe catch yourself doing it again later. You go back to that gratitude, and then just over time, that becomes your new default habit that you just automatically do, except this time it's actually serving you.
Yeah, for sure, right? So that's why I put gratitude as number one in each one of those pillars, because when you're truly grateful and really feel that, I don't even like to use this word, but for the sake of context, you cannot not think about you cannot think about something negative when you're truly grateful. It is not possible, right? So that's why I put gratitude as the number one thing that you want to do.
That's amazing.
And if I may share, if you go to my website, happinessenergizer.com, there's free, I created a little gift. It's something that anyone can download that gives you 5 action steps that can get you feeling a lot better about yourself and about your life. Anyone can go to that happinessenergizer.com and download it for their own use.
For your own use.
I just want to see people happy. So many people, like you mentioned, are not happy these days, right?
Okay, there's your call to action. The first thing you want to do if you're stuck, get into a gratitude mindset and count your blessings every day, and then go to happinessenergizer.com and download Lee's free gift, these 5 tools that he's got for you, and go to Amazon and find my book, mydiamondwithin.com, and read that too. They're both equally powerful tools that you can use to remember that this is all meant for you, designed for you.
Yes.
And it's not as complicated as you think.
Yeah, people love to, like you said earlier, right? They love to make things complicated.
It's just not.
A lot of people might think when I say this, life is simple, really. It really is. Life is simple.
It is. That doesn't mean that life is easy.
Exactly.
Simple does not always equal easy. It just means that it's not complicated.
Mm-hmm. And you get to choose as to how complicated or how simple you make it, because
exactly,
you are the creator.
You are the creator. That is amazing. Lee, thank you so much for being here today. It was so fun hanging out with you and chatting with you. Remember, go to happinessenergizer.com. Go find my book, My Diamond Within, on Amazon. And you guys have a great, blessed day. And remember how awesome you are. Thank
Yes.
you, Lee. We'll
Thank
see
you so
you.
much, Courtney.